Yo, what up, Street Talks? This is Eric Kim, right? Turbo Thought. So this Turbo Thought is on how to expand your impact and your influence. So one of the things that's been very interesting about being here in Phnom Penh, Cambodia, is the Chinese influence. So it's interesting that things are actually a lot more clear from distance. So for example, like I don't really care too much about politics or international things, but certainly living internationally, like outside of the States, gives me a better picture or sense of domestic affairs back in the States, and also just global affairs in general. So for example, something I've been thinking a lot about is so it's like accessibility, right? So most Chinese people, you know, they don't have access to Google, YouTube, Facebook, social media, and stuff like that. They got Baidu, UQ, and all these other things. And I was just kind of curious. I'm like, because I was talking to this guy named Bowen in the hotel lobby. He's actually works for the Chinese government. Super lovely dude. Had a 4-year-old kid. His name is Michael. I'm like, why you name your kid Michael? It's like, oh, Michael Jordan. And so my thought is, honestly, like, I have no problem with mainland China or mainland Chinese. America tends to vilify them as the enemy and just fear-mongering tactics, and I think a lot of it is actually just rooted in pure racism. I think you know, to become the Uber entrepreneur, the Uber innovator, to leverage all forms of inspiration and motivation from all cultures and walks of life is a good idea. So, you know, steal from the best and integrate into yourself, whether it be Chinese, American, etc. But anyways, so a thought is, just ask yourself, like, can your website be indexed or accessible by Chinese mainland internet? Is it going to be censored? If you're only on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, you will not be accessible to mainland Chinese. This is where it's good to also have your own self-hosted website, bluehost.com, wordpress.org, because even if you host it through wordpress.com, you will often get blocked. Like even when I was in Vietnam, wordpress.com and sites hosted by wordpress.com are actually blocked, and whether your website could be indexed by baidu.com, whether it's easily Google translatable by mainland Chinese. Kind of interesting, this, you know, most Chinese people know how to read English and speak English, but most Americans don't know how to speak Mandarin or Chinese. And it looks like English is still dominant. It's going to be the most dominant language, at least in our lifetimes. And you know, even if you think about the fancy luxury brands, all of them are written in English. So it's wise to think internationally, to think globally, think PDF, think raw text, make things easily accessible and shareable, easily Google translatable, include lots of hyperlinks, open source everything, and that seems to be the best way to expand your influence and impact.